Today we're going to go to Shaky Lake to learn some cool facts about this awesome lake environment. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Kristie.
And I'm Niki.
And we'll be your tour guides for today. Come on guys, let's go. Alright guys, we're almost to the lake, but before we go, you guys probably need to know the difference between a lake and a pond. A lake is big, and a pond is smaller than a lake. Ponds are usually man-made, while lakes are more natural. Also, lakes have temperature changes from top to bottom, while ponds usually don't.
Hey guys, we're already at the lake already. And so before we get on the trail, here's an interesting fact. Did you know that if everyone in the whole wide world took 3 baths a day and the only water source was from the Great Lakes, that water alone would last us over 4,000 years?
What?
Hey explorers, my name's Niki, and an interesting fact of the day, Lake Baikal, located in Siberia, is the world's oldest and biggest, deepest lake. It is almost 30 million years old, and on average is 744 meters deep.
Whoa!
The deepest parts are 1,600 meters. Try swimming to the bottom of that.
Look at all the wildlife. Wow. Wildlife. And recreation. Someone's fishing.
Lakes and ponds are scattered all around the world. You can find them in cold locations and warm locations. Because they're scattered everywhere around the world, the temperature of the lake depends on where it is in the world. In the winter, the water on top freezes, but the water on bottom is warmer than the water on top. And most of the animals go to the bottom because it's warm. But in the summer, the water's warmer on top and colder on bottom. And then in the spring and fall, the water mixes and it's all the same temperature throughout, which makes great grounds for animals to live in. Whoa, look at this cool piece of wildlife. This is a pond frog, just like this one. Frogs are one of the many types of amphibians that live near ponds. Also, they have like snakes that slither through the water, but don't worry, these snakes aren't poisonous, so they won't bite you. Also, there are many types of animals, such as bats and birds, such as waterfowl. These are waterfowl. And then there are beavers that make dams in lakes and ponds, and they use them as homes. The clams, these are freshwater clams. They live at the deepest part of the lakes. Also living at the deepest part of the lakes are larvae, such as clam worm larvae. There are, besides the water snakes, which I told you about, there are snails that eat the algae off of rocks. And there are crayfish, which are kind of creepy looking. And around the lake, living off of the plant life and vegetation, are dragonflies and damselflies and midgeflies. And in the water are small freshwater fish, such as this mosquito fish. And then it brings us back to our frog friend.
Speaking of animals, did you know that the fish have developed a swim bladder to help them stay buoyant in the water? Buoyancy is a common problem for animals, and this is but one of many ways that they adapted to solve it. Oxygen intake is also a common problem for aquatic animals. Some have developed gills to take in oxygen, but others can actually breathe air and come up to the surface. There are also animals living on the surface of the water. The pond skaters develop light bodies to take advantage of the surface tension of the water.
So I bet you guys are wondering what these animals eat. Well, lakes and ponds provide a delicious buffet of plant life for these.
Ooh.
These are cattails, which grow along the sides of lakes and ponds. They have their roots in the water, so they can easily get all the water that they need. This is foxtail barley, which is a lot like cattail, and it's a grass that grows around the side of ponds. This
is a greater bladderwort flower, which you can also find growing near most ponds. These are lily pads, and on lily pads you can sometimes see frogs. This is duckweed, which ducks love to eat, hence the name duckweed. And this is algae. Duckweed and algae both grow their own food from photosynthesis. They get their energy from the sun. How cool is that? I wish I could do that. And this is alkali saltgrass, which you can probably see growing along the edge of ponds and lakes all over the world. Speaking of plants, did you know that water lilies have developed large areas of air tissue within them to become buoyant and develop stomata on the upper side of the leaf rather than the lower to enable gas exchange? Other plants have developed adaptations that help them obtain oxygen directly from the water. Having a large surface area helps them absorb more oxygen. Additionally, plants in general have evolved to have less dense material in the stems for support, as the water itself provides the support they need. Some have even evolved to accommodate different seasons. Spirodela proluriza and some other plants form turions in fall in preparation for the winter. A turion is the dormant stage of the plant. It lacks air pockets so that it sinks to the bottom, where it not be harmed by the ice forming on the surface in the winter. In spring, it develops back into a normal. Dun dun dun! There are many threats to these pond and lake ecosystems. One of these is eutrophication. Eutrophication is when ponds and lakes have too many nitrates and phosphates. This causes an overgrowth of algae. An overgrowth of algae blocks the entire pond from getting enough sunlight, so the animals cannot survive. Also, another major threat is, do I feel acid rain? Acidification is a major problem in lakes when the pH drops so low that no life can be sustained. Another major threat to ponds and lakes is erosion. Erosion is when soil from the edge of the lake goes into the water and causes excess sediment. This excess sediment can coat the bottom where fish eggs are generally laid, so these fish eggs unfortunately will not be able to hatch. Also, sedimentation can cause the light to not be able to filter in correctly. So a lot of the animals that are light reliant, such as algae, that need the light for photosynthesis, cannot survive. Another major problem for lakes is climate change. When lakes get too hot, the ice in the winter melts, so it causes more erosion, which we've already established is a very bad thing. It also causes drought. Drought can make the living conditions different, so less animals and plants can survive there. Also, climate change can cause an overpopulation of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes breed in warm water. Mosquitoes are known to be carriers of diseases such as malaria, which can kill humans. So that's a very bad thing. But the humans can also cause this climate change through air pollution and other such occurrences. Hey, humans aren't all that bad. Every ecosystem in the world has certain groups of people who are dedicated to the conservation of a specific ecosystem. The Great Lakes in Canada and the U.S. have quite a few working together to keep the ecosystem clean and safe. Some examples are the Great Lakes Cleanup Fund, Ducks Unlimited Canada, Wetland Habitat Fund, and EcoAction. Others include Pond Conservation, a national organization in the UK dedicated to protecting freshwater ponds and lakes, and the Nature Conservancy. Methods used to conserve lakes and ponds include diverting drainage from roads and farms into sediment basins to avoid the oversaturation of phosphates from fertilizers and other substances harmful in great extremes.
So I bet you guys are all wondering what these lakes provide for us. Well, first of all, look at all the water.
Whoa, that's a lot of water.
Exactly. It provides us with fresh drinking water, just like this. Lakes provide us with easy transportation routes, which makes shipping a lot easier when you want to take something across the sea. You don't have to walk all the way on land to make you go over there. Also, lakes provide us with lots of food. They have all the plants and the fish and turtles and snails. Yum, yum, yum. Most importantly, lakes are great tourism sites for people to go visit. And they provide us with a lot of recreation, like fishing, water skiing, and on a boat. Look over there. He's even fishing. Hey, sir. Have you caught anything today?
Haven't had a bite.
Oh, man. Are you having fun, though?
Oh, yeah. Always.
Awesome.
Alright, I'm at Shaky Lake and I caught this fish. It's a bass and I'm having a blast at
This is
Shaky
our tour. Thanks for coming to visit Shaky Lake. We hope you had fun. Just remember, lakes are found all over the world, so you might even find one in your backyard someday. Bye!
Bye!